Let me show you why 2026 could be one of the smartest years to buy a home in the greater Phoenix metro. Because if you're asking yourself, is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? You're not alone. Over the past few years, a lot of buyers here in Phoenix, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, and even Scottsdale stepped into the sidelines. Prices climbed quickly and mortgage rates jumped. Competition felt intense, and for many Arizona buyers, the math just didn't feel comfortable. So the real question isn't, is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? The real question is what's actually changed, and does it create opportunity for you? Let me break this down. Simply, there are 3 shifts happening right now in the greater Phoenix metro housing market, and those fence-sitter buyers need to understand them. Number 1, our mortgage rates are more stable, and stability matters more than low. First, mortgage rates. Mortgage rates aren't back to 3%, and they probably won't be, but they've stabilized into a more manageable range, generally hovering in the low 6s heading into 2026. So here's what most buyers misunderstand. Low rates create chaos, and stable rates create strategy. When rates are volatile, buyers freeze, but when they're predictable, buyers can plan. And planning is what makes Arizona home buying strategy in 2026 actually work. Let me show you a simple payment example. On a $500,000 home at a 7.5% interest rate, your principal and interest payment is roughly about $3,500 a month. Now, at 6.25%, that drops closer to $3,080 per month. That's an over $400 a month difference. And that's not minor. That's meaningful power to a buyer. So when people ask, is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? Part of the answer is this. Rates don't need to be historically low. They need to be stable enough for you to move confidently. And right now, they are far more predictable than they have been in years. All right, number 2, our inventory is growing, which changes negotiating power. Yep, that's our second shift, inventory. For years, the greater Phoenix metro housing market was severely undersupplied. Homes in Mesa, Chandler, and Gilbert were getting multiple offers in days. Buyers were waiving inspections, appraisals were tight, and everything felt rushed. That is not what we are seeing right now. Inventory isn't flooding the market, but it is growing in a healthier, balanced way across the Phoenix and East Valley. Here's what that means specifically in the Phoenix, Arizona real estate market. Number 1, fewer bidding wars. Number 2, more time to evaluate homes. Number 3, less pressure to waive protections. Number 4, more negotiating room. Now that changes behavior, and this is critical because when buyers feel pressure, they overpay. When buyers feel option, they negotiate. So if you're wondering, is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? You have to factor in leverage, not just price. Balanced inventory creates leverage. All right. Now, if we haven't met before, I'm Katie Evans with the Living 48 Real Estate Team, aka the Real Estate Boss Mom, and I help buyers make strategic moves across the greater Phoenix metro area, not emotional ones. Everything I'm walking you through here is all about helping you understand the mechanics behind the market and not just the headlines that you're seeing. Now, let's go into our third thing. Pricing. Nope, pricing is not crashing. They are not crashing at all. In fact, they're normalizing. One of the biggest hesitations that I hear right now is, what if prices drop? Here is the reality based on the greater Phoenix metro housing market forecast for 2026. There is no credible data out there that is projecting a crash. Instead, we're seeing moderate, steady price growth, and slow growth is not weakness. Again, it is stability. This is the part that most people misunderstand. Rapid price spikes create fear of missing out. Sharp drops create panic. But slow and steady appreciation creates predictability, and predictability is what long-term wealth is built on. So if you're waiting for the Phoenix home prices to fall back to those 2019 levels, I got news for you, it's unlikely. But if you are looking for a window where rates are stable, inventory is balanced, price growth is steady, negotiation leverage exists, then yes, 2026 becomes very interesting. Now, let's talk about point number 4, why this window doesn't stay open forever. The truth is, balanced markets don't last forever. If rates drop significantly later in 2026, buyer demand, it may spike again, inventory may tighten, and then your negotiating power shrinks. affordability improves even slightly, fence sitters are going to jump in. The opportunity phase is usually the transition phase, not the peak or the bottom. That is why asking, is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? Well, it isn't about perfection. It's about positioning. If you need 3% rates, 2019 pricing, and zero competition, no, 2026 is not your year. If you want a stable environment where strategy beats speed, this one might be one of the smartest windows that we've seen in years. So let's talk about our decision framework. Let's simplify this just a little bit. Is 2026 a good time to buy a home in Phoenix? Well, if you want less chaos, you want more negotiating room, you want stable rates, you want slower price growth, you want options across Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, and Scottsdale, those areas, then yes, this is the market that may favor the prepared buyer, not the emotional buyer. Prepared buyers, and that is where strategy matters. So, if you're even considering buying this year, here's what I recommend. I created a 2026 Phoenix buyer game plan that breaks down what your buying power calculations are, rate scenarios, negotiation strategies, and what to expect in different Phoenix area price ranges. If you are interested in downloading this, then go ahead and give me a quick DM message. We'll schedule a quick 15-minute clarity call, no pressure, no sales pitch, just a clear look at what your numbers are and whether this market makes sense for you specifically. Because the greater Phoenix market in 2026 isn't about guessing, it's about understanding your strategy. And if you're ready to stop sitting on the fence and start looking at real options, we'll help you map out the right way. In fact, I'll put that contact me link below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in our next video.